Today we're talking about how to start your coding journey in 2026, especially if you're a beginner who's been trying for 2 months, 4 months, or even 6 months and still feels confused about what to do next. First, understand this: most people learning programming fall into two groups. Group 1 is placement-focused students. You're learning coding to get internships and placements. Today's video is mainly for you. Group 2 is interest-focused learners. You want to build something because you saw an app, a website, AI tools, or tech trends and thought, I want to create that. If you're in this group, you have more flexibility. You can explore web development, app development, DevOps, cloud, cybersecurity, AI, anything. You're not racing a deadline, so you can pick what excites you and go deeper. But even for you, today's rules will save you months. Now here's the placement reality check. Freshers don't get hired because they memorize 50 tools. They get hired because they can think clearly, solve problems, and understand fundamentals. And you'll see this even in job requirements. For example, Google's software engineering roles commonly ask for experience with data structures and algorithms. So when you ask, what should I learn in 2026? You're really asking which path matches my goal and my time. Most beginners pick one of three common paths. Path 1 is learning a core programming language like C++ or Java, and then focusing heavily on DSA. This is the most common route for product-based companies and many on-campus interviews. The exact number of problems isn't magic, but you do need volume and repetition. Your real target is to become comfortable with patterns, arrays, strings, hashing, stacks, queues, recursion, trees, graphs, dynamic programming, and greedy thinking. Path 2 is development. Usually it starts with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then you pick a stack. For example, a JavaScript stack like MERN or something else, depending on your goals. Development becomes valuable only when you build projects, not watching tutorials. Building, shipping, breaking things, fixing them. That's what makes you employable. Path 3 is Python. And most students who choose Python then move toward data roles or AI and machine learning. Python feels easier at the start because the syntax is simpler and you can do a lot with libraries. But don't confuse easy to start with easy to master. Real progress still comes from projects, data sets, debugging, and consistency. Now let's answer the most important question. Which path should you focus on? If you're early, like first year or second year, and you have time, the best students eventually cover all three over the course of college. Not all at once, one at a time and structured. That's how top performers do it. But if you're in third year or final year, you must choose based on the kind of job you want. If you're targeting product-based roles, DSA becomes your highest priority. Many companies screen freshers using DSA-style rounds because it's the fastest way to test problem solving. If you're targeting off-campus roles where you can show work publicly, development can be your fastest path because projects can become proof. If you're targeting data analyst, data science, or AI/ML roles, then Python plus statistics basics plus projects becomes your priority. And one more thing, don't overthink which language is best. Switching later is normal in tech. The real danger is not starting or switching every 15 days because a new roadmap shows up on your feed. Now let me give you the rules that decide whether you win or quit. Rule 1. Don't quit in the first month. This is where most people fail. The first week feels exciting. Then concepts get harder, you hit errors, you feel slow, and you stop. But quitting is expensive because restarting later costs you the same time again. A simple fix is to take a 100-day commitment. The idea of hashtag 100 days of code became popular because it pushes consistency over motivation, and consistency is what builds skill. Rule 2, don't take long breaks. If you disappear for 3 days, then 7 days, your brain resets. In the beginner phase, consistency matters more than intensity. If you can't do 2 hours, do 30 minutes, but do something daily. Rule 3, practical beats theory. You don't learn cooking by watching a chef. You learn by cooking and ruining a few meals. Coding is the same. Watching a video feels like you understand, but the real learning starts when your code fails and you debug it. And debugging is not a weakness. Debugging is the job. When you get stuck, use Google search properly. Read the error. Search the exact message, compare examples, use documentation, use Stack Overflow. And if you use AI tools, use them to explain the error and suggest fixes, but still read and understand what changed. Rule 4, think in a long-term window. If your mindset is, I just need a job in 6 months, you'll try to memorize shortcuts. If your mindset is, I'm building a 5-year career, you'll build strong fundamentals and real projects. And that long-term mindset is what separates an average engineer from a great one. Rule 5, build a problem-solving mindset. High salaries are not paid for syntax. They're paid for solving hard problems. That's why companies test problem solving. That's why DSA exists. That's why projects matter. Every bug is training. Every error is a lesson. Rule 6, your environment matters but is not an excuse. If you have a strong circle of friends who code seriously, it helps. You improve just by being around disciplined people. If you don't have that circle, you can still win. Internet access has reduced the gap massively. A student in a small town can learn from the same resources as a student in a top college because the fundamentals are universal. So here's the bottom line. Pick one path based on your goal. Commit for 100 days. Don't take breaks. Practice more than you watch. Build projects or solve problems. Use tools to learn faster, but never skip understanding. Start today, even if it's only 20 minutes. Because the only real mistake in 2026 is delaying the start and hoping motivation will save you later. I hope you learned something useful in this video, and I will see you in the next one. But wait, please don't forget to subscribe.